I graduated from nursing school, and then I knew that I wanted to do something. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to go somewhere. I didn't know where I wanted to go. And so I walked into the Army recruiter and said, I want to go to Vietnam. And he said, you have a guaranteed assignment, so sign the dotted line. And my mom was so angry at me. She said, well, you can't do that. Sure I can, and I did. We got married during the Tet Offensive.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Who married you, like a chaplain? Or?
Oh yeah, I was a convert to the Catholicism, and I stay in touch with the chaplain that married us. He came from the battlefields to our wedding in his fatigues and said a few words, blessed us, and then he left. But the priest that married us was an Air Force chaplain. When you started hearing the choppers coming in, and then everybody was just on their game. And so the corpsman would go out to the choppers, bring the casualties in, they'd be triaged, and then I was a post-op nurse, so I didn't take care of the patients until they actually came out of surgery. And I think one of the things that you could see them visibly when they came out of anesthesia was count extremities. And then their first question was always, where's Joe? Where's my buddy? And we did not keep them long in our hospital because it was a MASH unit. They just treated them, and as soon as they were stabilized, they were moved to Quy Nhon, to Saigon, out of country. And those that could just be treated medically and then just sent back to duty. There were those also. So we didn't keep any of them very long in the hospital because it was a mobile armor surgical hospital. And so they were moved on. And I think you just being there helped them a lot. And seeing a woman helped them a lot, just to hold their hand. And, and then they were so strong. These guys were just, they would come out of this and they just enjoyed talking, as they came out of the anesthesia. And you never got a chance to really get to know them because they were just moved back, sent on to another evac hospital. Or our helipad was maybe a football length away from the hospital. So every time that came in, all that dirt, So infection was a big thing. A lot of our major wounds were left to heal from the outside, from the inside out, and so they were left open. And so there were things that we did that we didn't do with stateside. You started IVs and you did those kind of things, and it was an experience that I came home with a good feeling because it was happening whether I was there or not, and I felt that I was able to help many of these young soldiers in spite of their injuries. They were just tough guys. So many times it seems like your patients, they're whining about something. These guys don't whine. They were just tough. And they were just happy to just have you hold their hand and just be there with them. I was a second lieutenant. My husband wouldn't marry me till I was promoted to first lieutenant, so I was by the time we got married.
What rank was he?
He was a major.
He was a major. Oh, wow. So you had to have the stripes before he would say,
oh,
I do.
Yeah.
And then you went on this honeymoon, right?
Well, we got married, and then from the reception, we got on a plane with a Vietnamese general that was flying to Saigon, and we flew right after the wedding, right to Saigon. We had to wait a couple of days because they were fighting in the streets in Tan Son Nhut, and then we got out. And yes, we were able to take a 41-day honeymoon, getting off and on planes, and finally ended up at my parents' in Illinois, who had never met him. And then we went on to Brooklyn, New York for his parents, who had never met me, and then on to our duty station at Fort Lee, Virginia. And then we have 2 of our children born there, and then our 3rd was born in Korea.
Wow, so after you got married and left Vietnam, did you go back to Vietnam at all, or were
No,
you guys done?
no, that was the end.
Wow.
And my husband planned all of this. I did nothing. He planned it all, as well as being a combat engineer with the 299th Engineer Battalion. So he was a very busy person. He was the operations officer, and so he was a very busy man.
So he planned this whole deal. It worked out really well.
Yeah, we actually had, I got my dress in Singapore. The girls, the bridesmaids, got their dresses from the Sears catalog. And so we had everything. And they carried our reception on for a month after we left. People didn't even know who we were anymore, and they were still having a drink on us. Well, that's a happy ending of that worked out that well. My story is unique. Unlike when I listen to the stories of the people, in the foxholes, in the trenches, out there, with the weather and with the enemy, and then I'm in a facility where we take care of Viet Cong. And we only had 2 there when I was there, but that's what you do. We take care of everybody.